Today we're studying the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Now this word Invictus means unconquered in Latin. Okay, so let's read the poem now. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. Circumstances holding our character in his grip and is not allowing him to be free. But our character does not wince or cry aloud. Okay, he's staying resolute and not giving in to pain. And under the bludgeonings of chance, so bludgeoning is just being hit with a blunt object. Okay, so he's being hit by chance, and he's bloody but unbowed. So again, he doesn't give up. Now the next two stanzas are talking about death. Okay, so beyond this place of wrath and tears, so the anger and the sadness of life, looms but the horror of the shade, so that's death. So beyond life is death, and yet he's unafraid of that. He's unafraid of this. Okay, he knows that death is coming and there's nothing he can do about it. It matters not how straight the gate. Now the word straight here actually means narrow. Okay, so no matter how narrow the gate is, he'll be able to fit through it. Okay. And finally the poem ends with some repetition. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Showing that no matter how difficult life is and what obstacles he has to overcome. So there are three main themes in this poem. The first one being resilience. So resilience means the ability to recover from setbacks or problems. And this poem is very famous and used in a lot of important speeches and movies as a reference because this poem highlights this theme so well. So a lot of people like to refer to this poem because it makes people feel strong and inspired and gives people the courage to continue to fight through life. Okay, the message of remaining persistent through adversity is a really key idea in this poem. Another theme is free will. So this is more of a contextual idea. Back when this poem was written, a lot of people had the idea that one's fate was predetermined. So it means people just live lives that are already set out for them, perhaps by God's will or fate as a spiritual being and so on. So this poem instead conveys the idea that each person has their own ability to control their life and that one's decisions are their own and impact their lives without the control of some higher being. Okay, so this poem is emphasizing the ability of each person to control their own life. And finally, agnosticism is a theme in this poem. So agnosticism is the belief that one can't know if there's a God or not. So again, this poem is written in quite a religious time period, and we can see in this poem he referred to whatever gods there may be. So the fact that he's referring to whatever gods and not the God shows that he's doubtful of the presence of a God. So before I close off, I'd highly recommend you guys to Google the poem Invictus and see all the different sources that have used this poem as inspiration. Like there's a lot of contemporary songs and movies that have had ideas taken from this poem. Okay, so it's still a very relevant poem in our society today. Okay, thank you for watching.